start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights here at Summit Point Raceway. Jesus Christ, they went out fast. It's Donny held out. Showing their respects for Sabine Smits. Get the best start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights here at Summit Point Raceway. Jesus Christ, they went out fast. It's Donny held out for Henriksen. He gained 12 places. Look at this battle around turn 1. Charles Raceford sends it up the inside to take the lead. Andy Fox is going to try and hold it around the outside. Jared Kaler's got the inside just with Germany. Makes it through the middle. Henry Morse takes the win. We got Charles Raceford taking the win. Stephen King weaves down the straight and across the line. Donny Alpha Henriksen, half a second clear. Here they go. Can Kieran break late and hold that inside line? There, is he going to have the inside? He tags Ray round and there's a big crash up the front. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Here we are for round 6 of the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega, with partnership with, of course, our great partners. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but it's VCO Esports over there on YouTube, wherever you're watching from, whether it is with us, me, Jack Johns, your commentator on the Racing Line, YouTube and Twitch, or over with VCO Esports. Of course, you are all welcome. Get in chat and let us know how you excited are for round 6. How excited you are for round 6 out of 10. Second half of the season starts here. I have just finished my unbranded energy drink named after a colourful cow, and we are ready to attack tonight's racing action. We are here in the UK at the Oulton Park circuit, the island layout, which features one of the chicanes, a very extremely tight hairpin, like one of the tightest hairpins I'm gonna say ever. I mean, there's not many that are this tight. If you can think of any in particular, then let us know. Altitude 69 meters. We never go through this. Temperature 21 degrees. 3.54 kilometers. We'll go through that with our special track map. City, Little Budworth. We'll have a closer look at where that is with our fancy track map. You're probably wondering, what's going on right now? Well, you've got 10 minutes of practice left, as usual. For Guelthio's joined Twitch chat and says, good evening, Jake. So he's rooting for Jake Cranston. Is for Guelthio instead of his usual driver of choice, Jesus Amundre Ikulaqueo Christian Ribeiro, one of the Lurchus boys he's normally rooting for. He's going for Jake Cranston today, and that is because Jake Cranston has been on absolute form once again for our second running season. Let's have a look at the times and stuff whilst there's about just under 10 minutes of practice to go. So the gaps are looking fairly wider across the track, and that is because there are more corners. Saying that, though, it is reasonably close. Let's have a look at this. So a second separates 26 of them again, really. If you include Sam Van Olst, Martin Wallace and Nicola Quay in 24th, 5th and 6th. Henriksen currently 1.2 down, Thornton 1.3 down, and Weisswanger 1.5 down at the moment, but that was 2 seconds down earlier in practice, so maybe some more pace to find. And then extremely tight in the midfield with many drivers in that 7/10 zone. Few drivers in the 6/10 zone, half a second, a group of 4. And then the closest ones to your absolutely dominant lap, the fastest guy in practice right now, Jonathan Bailiff, the number 22 for Win It or Bin It. Binned it last week. Can he win it today? He's certainly showing the pace. He whacked that lap out early when the conditions were great, and now it's going to be difficult for people to beat it. However, King was the one who set the early pace on the second lap, who's now been beaten by Morgan Burkhardt, who's been absolutely on form as well this season. Is there anyone out on track? Let's have a look at some cars. Speaking of Morgan Burkhardt, here he is. Coming down the main straight. He's got Dan Thornton behind him. I heard a little bit of a crash there. I wonder who that was. Let's have a look at the track map to spot where everyone else is. A few cars in the pit lane. Jackie Bond says evening. Come on, Vanolse. So Sam Vanolse got some more fans. Jesus is always in my heart, says Theo. Ben Norse is, of course, celebrating for Henry Morse, who is currently 19th, ahead of Joshua Germany after very little practice. Both of them looking to improve their lap times and climb up that grid on a track that has got to be said, it's difficult to overtake on. We can't lie about that. I mean, you can overtake, but to do it fairly, or safely, shall we say, is going to be increasingly difficult. Good Judge 93 says, let's go in the YouTube chat. Let's go indeed. I said we'd see where we are. Let's have a look. So in terms of flight path, here we go. We were in Monza, Milan in Italy, so we've driven through France. We're going to get the Eurotunnel back over to the UK for our double header in the UK. Here we go. There's the little train. Across London we go to the north of the country, near Chester. Oulton Park is, and we won't have far to go for Donington Park next week either. Of course, the schedule looks like this. We are currently on round 6, 25th of October, Oulton Park, and here we are. 1st of November next week, we'll be at Donington Park before we take our second of the breaks throughout the season. So we've done the Japanese and Australian leg. We're going through the quadruple header of the European leg before we head over to the US of A for a triple header. Lime Rock Park, Road Atlanta and Watkins Glen Cup for the finale, just like last season. Sam Vanolf's fan base is only growing bigger. Let's grab some points, says Gook008. It is growing. We need 20 rounds, says Valdez31. Not yet. Let's see the increasing popularity. If it keeps going as it is, then why not have a World Championship Jetta Cup with more rounds? And of course, should we say better drivers? No, we can't say better drivers. They're pretty darn good as it is, but I'm sure we can squeeze a few more highly talented front-wheel drive handlers on the grid and see if we can get an even closer field. I know that some people are relishing this new challenge this season, with it being ever so much more competitive than season 1. Some people, though, not liking how much closer it's got, because it means it's even harder. It's more difficult. Some people like things more difficult, some people do not. But I think the bottom line is, I think they are all enjoying it, which is good to see. We have got one more thing to show you graphics-wise before we carry on. That is, of course, our spinning track map, the Oulton Park Island, UK. Here we go. Loads of sectors. 3.63 kilometres, this says. 2.26 miles. It is 6 sectors long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 sectors long. There's 2 main overtaking zones, which is the hairpin and the final corner, and the speed trap is actually on the entry to Druids, which is the fastest point in the circuit. There are 12 turns in total, although some of them shouldn't really count. Turn 2 and 12, for example, are pretty much non-existent. And 8 and 9, actually, to be fair. But it is a tricky circuit where the track is all over the place. There's certain cambers that are going to prove difficult. It's very narrow, and there are 1Xs everywhere for the drivers. In fact, with 4 minutes to go, we do need to have a look at the points, but let's jump on board with someone. Actually, no, we'll wait for our onboard lap of the circuit for qualifying. We'll find someone in qualifying as usual, and everyone we jump on with normally messes up. So let's, fingers crossed, the commentator's curse doesn't catch up with anyone today. Jake Cranston in practice, currently 16th place. Is this going to be the nightmare that the other drivers need to catch up to your current championship leader looking to defend his Season 1 title? Jake Cranston, winner last season. He's actually the only driver, I believe, to enter double figures in wins. I think he's on 11 wins now, which is absolutely mad. Let me just check this. I don't want to be giving you false information. This won't take me long. I normally know where this is. Well, I know it's 5 wins this season. Sorry, 3 wins this season, which is equal with Stephen King. Jake Cranston making the most of the features. Morgan Burkhardt, Henry Morse, Jared Kaler and Andy Fox. 4 other winners this season alone. So that is 6 winners so far in 6 different winners in 5 different rounds. Are we going to see a new winner today? John Bailiff hasn't won this season yet, and he's currently fastest in practice, so he may. He's only won 1 time before, has John Bailiff, and it was gifted to him by a penalty, just like Jake Cranston's win last time out because of Stephen King's driving at the end of Monza when he came into contact with Austin Farr and Jared Kaler, who are on for a win themselves. Austin Farr potentially being a new race winner. Pole positions, Cranston has 3, Jack Lewin 1 and Morgan Burkhardt 1, so Cranston dominating qualifying. Can he pull it out the bag in 2 minutes time? Podiums. There are a lot of podium sitters for one season. This is madness. Cranston, 5. Burkhardt, 4. King, 3. Kayla, 3. Alexander van der Velde, 2. Lewin, 2. Morse, Dempsey, Bailiff, Ridley, Germany, Chris Smith, Alpha Henriksen, Farr, Fox, Amundere and Lequay. Also with 1 podium each. That is madness. Fastest laps, 3 to Burkhardt, 3 to Cranston. Jack Lewin, Dempsey, King and Wallace have 1 each. And driver of the days, Burkhardt has 2. Jake Cranston 1. Duncan Murray has won a driver of the day, as has Sam Van Olst. That is a load of stats that I did not say that I was going to read to you. I said, how many wins does Jake Cranston have overall? It is 11 wins. It's 21 podiums and 6 pole positions in total to show how dominant he's been over 2 seasons so far. Can he keep it up though? Because only 40-something points behind is Jared Kaler, the independent driver, and Morgan Burkhardt, who's currently on form and looking quick this week as well, is also within that same bracket of points. Stephen King has had a few unlucky races, but we know how wily he is. P2 last season. Alexander van der Velde, a new driver this season, showing what he's worth in P5, with Donny Alpha Henriksen, a strong contender from last season, right behind, and Austin Farr doing very well for Down Under Sim Esports. In fact, speaking of Down Under Sim Esports, we should have a look at the team fight. We should go through the rest of the points, really. Let's be fair to everyone. Come on. Where were we? Chris Smith, John Bailiff. It's just going to change over, so I'll wait for that because it'll probably take the overlay off. Yeah, here it goes. There we go. So qualifying is about to begin, which means they're all going to come flying out of the pit lane in the background. Shall we have a look at them all squeezing out? Look at this madness. This looks so funny with the speed limiter. And it focuses on Dan Blake there. Lequay. Oh, it's not the first driver. I thought he was the first driver on track. That is Stephen King up the road all by himself with some clear air, looking to get a very quick lap time in the first go round. Let's go back to those points before he starts. Where were we? Austin Farr in 7th. John Bailiff and Chris Smith and Kieran Dempsey are rounding off your top 10 in the championship points. We then have Lewin, Smith, Morse, Blake, Germany, Ridley, Agard, Van Olst, Duncan Murray and Jesus and Mundere, who are equal on points down there in 19th and 20th place. Jesus getting his first podium last time out. Following them is Lequay, not many points behind Jesus, who also got his first podium last time out. Andre Mayerek, Dan Downing, Martin Wallace, Andy Fox, a first-time winner last time out. Jameson Huffman, Greg Otley, Ray Oliver, Christian Rivera, Dan Thornton scoring his first points, moving him up to 30th, and Jan Weiswanger at the bottom of the field with Sebastian Hallmichael for Meatball Motorsport. The team championship looks like this. Masters of Talk now over 100 points ahead of Pulsar C Sports. Down Under Sim Esports now take 3rd. Looks like they're even on points. I'm not sure that's right. So maybe we'll have to come back to that. But Win It or Bin It in 5th. ORD Racing 6th. Lurch's Gaming Team have passed Meatball Motorsport up into P7. Meatball being carried by Kieran Dempsey at the moment. Stephen King is just about to start his lap. He's exited turn 1. Very easy to get a 1X on the exit of turn 1 there. Looks like he kept it in. Now let's go through the track and see what we're saying in qualifying. Here we go. Here we go. So, round the... Look how bumpy it is as they're coming down this main straight. You go over this little brow of a hill before you approach this really tight hairpin. Hard on the brakes. Down through the gears. You're going to go down into 3rd gear. And look, full lock right as he turns it in and then uses all the track on the exit. Early on the power. Up the hill. Completely blind. There's going to be a lot of incidents into that hairpin, I fear. Hopefully all the drivers can keep it together. Heading towards this chicane now. The tyre wall is quite scary. You see it there on the right hand side. Look, they gotta chuck it in and just really hope not to hit it. I imagine we might see some accidents there as well. Looks fairly tidy from Stephen here as he cuts a little bit of the curb there. Nicely done. Keeps it on track. Shouldn't have got a 1X there. He's pulling away from the cars behind. Jesus has already set a lap somehow. I'm not sure how he's done that when Stephen King is the first on track. Heading towards Druids now. You come over to the left. It's a fast double right-hander. Head towards the first apex. Coast it in. Get back on that power for the second apex. Using all the track on the exit. Being careful not to touch the grass and get pulled out too wide. Over these little bumps now. 1, 2 bumps. And then you got this right-hand sign on the left. hard on the brakes, get it chucked in, really brings you into the apex there before it spits you out on the exit. Look at this, up and down, undulating. It makes Silverstone look extremely boring and flat when you see a track like this, narrow, filled with character, and a 1:35.2 for Stephen King on his first lap. But who is going to be able to beat that on their first attempt? He's 3 tenths quicker than Alexander van der Velde. Blake sets a time 2 tenths down. Jake Cranston goes fastest by a tenth and a half at the 1:35.1, so he pulls it out the bag again after sandbagging practice for probably the second week in a row. What's chat saying? We need 20 rounds. We read that. Riley says, hello all. Yeah, Henry, says Riley. A common fan for Henry Moores, who currently hasn't set a time, so I wonder if he 1x'd it. Bailiff goes up into 4th. It's another win it or bin it. 4, 5, 6. They're together on track last time in Monza, and now they're together again here at Oulton Park, if it stays like that. Kieran Dempsey, a strong qualifier is Kieran. He really shows that pace quite early on in quali. He's had a couple of bad runs in the races, but we know he has got the pace. There goes Morse up into 5th, 3 tenths down off of pole at the moment, but Jake Cranston absolutely pulling it out the bag when he needs to. Has he got slipstream? Let's have a look. Here he comes flying through the chicane. Let's get rid of that dashboard so that we can see. Jared Kaler's got 2 green sectors, so he looks like he's improving. He's currently sitting down in 15th. Ika Lequay might improve. He's got a green sector in P18, and then Alexander van der Velde looks like he's improving. He's in P8 at the moment as Stevens sets a green sector towards the end of his lap. He's in P2 at the moment. Stevens going to cross the line shortly. He's on that main straight. Can Stephen go faster than Cranston? There's 1.5 tenths between them. Has Stephen found it? Here we go. He's crossed the line. Doesn't look like it's changed. I wonder if he 1x'd it. No change there for Stephen King. Jared Kaler. Joshua Germany moves up into 7th. Ridley moves up. P14. Agard moves up into P9. It's chopping and changing all the time, and Cranston goes faster yet again with a 1:34.9. He's now extended that gap by 3 tenths. And Ray Oliver slots in P2 for Down Under Sim Esports. Where's Ray on track? Here he is in the black Kangaroo Mindset car. The charity Mindset mentioned last time out, I believe, for just speaking about mental health, the miners in Australia. I'll read that again properly for another round. I can't find it right now, but we will go through that, as I think it's important to talk about these sorts of things, and so do the Down Under Sim Esports team, who have the Mindset sponsor all over their car and are now running a decent Porsche championship, as Andre moves right out the way there of everyone. A decent Porsche championship, which is every other week on Wednesdays. Is it every other week? I can't remember. I'll find out more information on that next time round for you guys as well. Quick shout out whilst there's 2 minutes left to, of course, VCO Esports, our partners. If you're watching over there, thank you very much. Very good photographers as well from VCO Esports, keeping up the content for us here at the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors, GT Omega. GT Omega Racing, GT Omega Racing, who are providing a ART cockpit for your champion this season, which at the moment looks like it's heading towards Jake Cranston's house. Can he keep that lead up though? It's only going to take one bad round for everyone to start catching up to him again. As he comes into the pits, he's had enough. He thinks he's done enough. He's got the pole position. He's saying, nah, no one's going to beat that. I reckon I'm done. You got 1 minute 10 left. As Burkhardt goes up into P6. Dempsey's still up there in P5. Andy Fox absolutely riding the ecstasy of his win last time out. He's in P4 on pace, on a track that's actually more difficult, as Bailiff goes up into P6. I mean, it was basically an oval last time out, so you could argue that there was less... I mean, the race in itself, you definitely needed talent, but in terms of driving the lap, maybe less talent needed. But this one, absolutely, you need every ounce, and he is showing that it wasn't a fluke. He's in P4 with King ahead and Ray Oliver ahead of him, sitting in between last year's title rivals. King in 3rd, Cranston in 1st. That means King is going to start directly behind Jake Cranston. That could be interesting. Kieran Dempsey P5, Burkhardt P7, Dan Downing, a strong, really strong new driver, Dan Downing. Let's have a closer look at him. Here he is coming through the chicane in his bunny Wolverhampton car, F1 Delta on the number plate and the side. I think that's what that triangle is. It's a Delta sign. I'm sure he will confirm that. He looked set for a win, his first win. Last time out, it didn't happen. He'll be gutted. It wasn't Wasn't easy for him to take, I'm sure. As we head over to the grid now. It's gridding time. Let's have a look at your official grid then. Jake Cranston takes pole position with Ray Oliver in P2, 3 temps back with Stephen King P3, Andy Fox P4, Kieran Dempsey and John Bailiff in P6, Morgan Burkhardt and Dan Downing P8, 7 and 8, Austin Farr, Henry Morse round off your top 10. Andre Majorek shows a good pace in qualifying, 11th place with Donny Henderson in P12. You then got Sam Van Olst, Dan Blake, Joshua Germany, Jerry Agard, Alexander Van der Velde, Ryan Smith, Jesus Amunda and Christopher Smith rounded off your top 20. Jan Weiswanger, Carl Ridley, Gregory Otley, Duncan Murray, Jared Kaler, Ika LeQuay, Martin Wallace, Dan Thornton and Christian Ribeiro rounding off the rest of the field. It's going to be interesting. Let's see what happens. We're heading towards our sprint race. Oh my God. What do we do? This is a terrible camera view of the start. I'm hoping we can... There we go. That's a bit better. What about this one? No, definitely not. That shows how far back they go, though. What about Blimp? It's going to show a good view of the starting two, but not really everyone else. Let's go for this one. Congratulations to Sam, says Riley Andre. 18. Here we go, then. Where are the lights? They should come up any minute. We're waiting for someone to join the grid still. It's Donny Henriksen. There he is. Pops into the screen. Don't forget, show us who you're rooting for in chat as the lights come on. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green lights. And away we go at Oulton Park. It looks like Cranston's got a hell of a start. It does look like he's done it as Ray Oliver's going to slot in behind. And King looks like he has a slightly better start too as we head towards turn 1. Andy Fox under pressure from Kieran Dempsey there straight away. Round the outside. John Bailiff does the same thing. Round the outside. Andy Fox drops down to P6 already as they head down the hill towards everyone else. There doesn't seem to be any accidents yet, but I don't want to speak too soon as they all come. Look at this. I love it. Every start seeing so many of these Jettas, so many strong drivers as well, as we've got a few people taking to the grass. That'll be a 1X. There was an ORD car going right out there. I think that was Chris Smith. As we head towards the hairpin, it looks like Stephen King's trying to get past Ray. Can't quite get it done as everyone survived the dreaded hairpin. It sounded like a bit of contact somewhere. Was it from Duncan Murray and Greg Otley or Kyle Ridley? I think that is in the Down Under Sim Esports car. I think so, but it was around that area. I just started shouting names, really. Oh, contact into the chicane. That's a difficult place to pass. Andre Majorek may have got it done, though. If he did, good effort. Dan Downing might have a meatball, though, as a result of the argy-bargy. Henry Morse has moved up into P10. He's got to drive careful this week. He's one penalty away, is Henry Morse, from a pit lane start in both races next round. As always, says Alecki, let's go, Alex. That's right. Jump in chat. Let us know who you're cheering for. Jake Cranston pulling an early lead from Ray Oliver, who has held off Stephen King. John Bailiff is looking to the inside of Kieran Dempsey into the final turn. He's going to get that done, and Morgan Burkhardt, ever the optimist, is going to try and follow him through. We need to change the gaps to intervals so we can see how close it is. This is them going up the main straight. John Bailiff's going to have the inside for turn 1. They're heading down side by side. Kieran Dempsey's got the run out the final corner, though. It looks like he's going to hold it. Brilliant stuff from Kieran Dempsey, the Irish driver of Meatball Motorsport, holding it around the outside. He's gone wide. He gets a tail slapper, whopper, I don't know what to say. But there he goes. He saves it, and he keeps that position. Holds P4 from John Bailiff with Morgan Burkhardt behind, and Andy Fox is doing well to hold off Austin Farr for Down Under Sim Esports. Andre Majorek definitely pulled off some feisty moves early on. He's gained some places. He's up 2 places from the start. Who is the biggest gainer so far? I think, actually, it's Dan Blake, who's up 3 places, who's right here, taking advantage of whatever. Dan Downing lost 4 places, the biggest loser so far, apart from Andy, who's only lost 3. They survived the hairpin yet again, and there was a bit of contact. That sounded like Jared Kaler on Duncan Murray. That'll have to get looked at, I'm sure. Jared has been, let's say, feisty. Let's just go for feisty. We normally use feisty. Before, here he goes, having a look at Greg Otley into the chicane. That's not normally a move we see up the inside. Greg thinks wisely, carries on. Jared needs to be careful for sure with his new sponsor, Beer Nuts. They won't want to be involved in crashes. It says here, Morgan Burkhardt's gone off track. Shall we have a look at that? In the hairpin. Gets a good exit. Is he just going to extend a little bit? Yeah, tiny. Oh, John Bailiff really squeezes him over there. A little bit naughty, but maybe not completely illegal. Let's go back live and catch up with the action. Jake Cranston here. I'll tell you what, though, he's not actually blitzing off too much from Ray Oliver there in P2, as Stephen King is still trying to find his way through into P2. All still fairly close stuff as we come down the main straight now. Keep an eye on those positions swapping as we see Smith and Germany here going side by side. Ryan Smith, that is, number 66. Joshua Germany up into P16 now. Chasing down Alexander van der Velde. Donny, easy win this time, says Jesper Grieve. It's going to be a hell of an ask for Henriksen. He's in P13 at the moment. He might get a reverse grid pole. P12, remember, will start the next race on pole. Donny needs to gain one position, though, or he will be starting in 13th. As Joshua Germany's under pressure again from Ryan Smith, who has a look around the outside of the hairpin. Can't quite make it stick. I saw Jerry Agard and the Lurchus of Amundere also trying that. I think Amundere looking to the inside of Jerry Agard. And Agard actually getting quite a good exit and easily keeping that. Might come under pressure from Chris Smith back there. Not quite. Let's have a catch up on this chat. If Jesus has millions of fans, I am one of them. If Jesus has 100 fans, I am one of them. If Jesus only has one fan, that is me. If Jesus has no fans, it is because I am no longer in this world. What kind of paragraph on Twitch was that, people? We're not going to read. We're going to avoid Riley's penalty comments. He's just talking about Henry Morse's penalties. Yeah, Henry Morse is on 25 incident points, as I believe John Bailiff is making a move on Kieran Dempsey. He's actually got it done. Let's have a look at how he's done that as Kieran Dempsey was about to charge back at him. Is it the final corner again? It is. So John Bailiff up the inside of the final corner. Kieran Dempsey really wise to that. Look at him get the switch back, and this is when we cut away. So they're coming up the main straight again. Can Kieran get it back? He's on the inside this time. We know how strong the outside line is into turn one. It looks like John actually had enough of a run. Keeps it. Kieran Dempsey slots in behind, so can't quite make it stick. Smart driving from the pair. And they are on for points, of course. I'll tell you what, though. Look at the gap here. Jake Cranston coming under pressure from Ray Oliver. I wonder if he's used up all his tyres in that early phase of the race to try and pull away, and it hasn't worked. Either that or he's made a mistake. I can't see anything big on the screen. But Ray Oliver is really putting on the pressure for Jake Cranston. He's in P2. I don't think Oliver's got a podium this season. He has had a podium before. Could it be his first win? It'd be great for him if it is. I'd want to be in the interview room later, I'm sure, if he does. It's nice to see that no one so far, although I don't want to speak too soon, no one so far has heavily crashed out of this race, and I thought it was going to be a tricky one as Morse is battling side by side with Andre Majorek here as they head up the hill. This is towards the final corner, so Morse on the inside keeps P9 or takes P9. He's up one place from where he started, as is Andre Majorek. Still all single file. Martin Wallace is making moves at the back. That was on Jan Weisswanger into the final corner. Christian Ribeiro is also looking. Martin Wallace may be extremely tired. He was lucky enough to be at the Texas Grand Prix this weekend. He drove 7.5 hours back to make it here just in time for the Jetta Cup. That's commitment. And we speak about commitment regularly, especially with people like Martin who make that massive journey to us to show off his skills. As we see a car go off there, that is Duncan Murray. Shall we see how that happened? It looked like a big one. I wonder if he just lost the rear end. Brakes on the grass. Yeah, there he goes. Big old slide from down. Look at that for a drift. Get a picture of that, VCO photographers. I'm not sure who's with us. Is it Iku today? Iku, get a picture of that drift, because that was good from the South African. He holds it and carries on. I think Morgan's been off track again, but I don't want to click on it just in case it is the same as before. Is it just going to be an extend of turn one? Looks like it. Jerry Agard's going to be crucifying me for that. He loves it when I cut to a random 1x. Duncan Murray is back on track ahead of Jan Weisswanger, who's under pressure from Wallace still, and Ribeiro's keeping hold of that train. It's looking extremely close up the front. Stephen King now. Ray Oliver is absolutely parking his car in the middle of the track, and rightly so. He's trying to defend and attack at the same time. King looking like he's got a good exit here. He's in the slipstream of Ray Oliver. Is he going to go to the inside of turn one? Is Ray Oliver going to defend? It looks like he's moving over to the right-hand side. King not falling for that one. He's going to sit in behind, but he has got Bailiff for company now in P4. It's getting extremely tight between these top four. I'm surprised. I thought with the pace difference in quali that Cranston was going to pull away. But absolutely people showing their worth. Alexander van der Velde is tumbling down the order. He's had an issue there. We'll have to have a look at that if we can find it. It looks like quite a big one. They're getting pretty feisty. Stephen King gets an amazing switchback, but has he got the run on the exit? Has he got enough speed here? This could be it for P2. Stephen King, no. Ray Oliver gets a much better exit as the Smiths are racing it out. Otley and Kayla are also racing it out back there somewhere. But I was focusing to see if Stephen King could get that position done. Not quite this time. John Bailiff's all over the back of him as well. There's battles all over the shop. Everyone's still fairly close together. Oh, there's Alexander van der Velde. That looks like the end result of whatever happened. Joshua Germany was around him. Goes off track. Oh, no, no, no. That's going to... Well, we'll look at it. But definitely not what we wanted to see. Looks like Josh got a bit of a swapper on the grass of the exit of turn 1, and then he started coming under pressure from Jerry Agard here. Let's go back live. That was for P15, so it's not going to affect the feature race in terms of grid position. Lap 7 of 8 already. Do you know what? I didn't even clock that. It's only an 8-lap race because it's a long track. And this is your current top 8, top 10. Henry Morse just on the back of it, and Andre Mayerek in the back of your shot there as well. Jake Cranston still under pressure from Ray. John Bailiff trying around the outside of the hairpin. It's a good effort. It's not going to get done this time. Everyone really absorbing the pressure as Murray is fighting back there with one of the Smiths. I'll tell you what, ORD, the top driver right now is Dan Thornton in P22, so the Smiths must have had an issue. Looks like they both went off track. I wonder if that was together. Oh, there's Chris Smith doing what Duncan Murray did. Big old drift. Ryan hits him out the way. That's what happened to those two. Both ORD cars. And then team boss, Dan Thornton, goes through. Probably shaking his head. Well, shaking his head with a smile since he since he's just passed both of them and is the #1 driver right now. Let's go back live because we are definitely on the final lap. Here we go. Lap 7 of 8, approaching the start-finish straight. Is Ray going to get desperate? Is King going to get desperate? He's got to run out the final corner. He's on the inside. No, he slots back in behind. Jake Cranston leads the way. Ray Oliver into turn 1. King behind with Bailiff behind him. Looking ever closer. Where's the overtake going to happen? If it does happen, Henry Morse goes off track, but it was only an extend. We see him in the background of that shot. Henriksen passes down him for P12. He might actually get a reverse grid pole here. Let's have a quick look where that was. It was on the outside of turn 1, I guess, as Sam Van Olst shoots up the inside of turn 4. Turn 3, sorry. Oh, look at this. Who's going to come out on top of this? I can't see any swaps at the top. Is Sam Van Olst going to hold this around the outside? It looks like Bailiff has got King. Was that into the hairpin? It sounded like there may have been a crunch. King's going to try and hold that around the outside of chicane for sure. May have been a desperate move from Bailiff. Oh, and Bailiff's round. Oh, sorry, I wasn't commentating then. I had to hold my breath, but that was extremely tight. We're going to have a quick look at that before we... Here's the chicane, look. King goes round the outside. Bailiff just tags himself round, I think. And off he goes, but he can get back on quick enough. Didn't get to see the hairpin move. We need to go back live to catch the ending. This is what it looks like. Cranston now with a clear lead. Ray Oliver's not putting on pressure anymore, and Stephen King dropping back. Oh, look at this behind. Morgan Burkhardt and Kieran Dempsey. Morgan sweeps around the outside into P4. What a great move. Your winner for the sprint race, though, across the line. Jake Cranston weaves down the straight and takes the sprint race win. Ray Oliver P2, Stephen King P3, Morgan Burkhardt P4, Kieran Dempsey, sorry, it's P5 with Andy Fox only losing 2 places in the end to come home in P6. Austin Farr P7, Henry Morse P8 in the end after John Bailiff went off. Andre Mayerek P9. Where did John Bailiff finish in the end? He's down there. He's going to be shaking his head. He's going to hold escape. Yeah, there he goes. Into the 10-minute break we go. ORD team kill, says Kakala. Yes, indeed. What else have we got here? Dun, dun, dun. Not much going on in chat. Come on, YouTubers. I see you watching, both here and on VCO Esports. You need to beat the Twitchers. Loads of people commenting on Twitch. YouTubers definitely need to catch up, not carry on. Dan Thornton's out on track, so let's have a closer look at him and his ORD kart as we have a look at the final results for now of race 1. Here they are then. So Jake Cranston takes 24 points with another win. That's 12 wins now. 22 podiums. He seems unstoppable. Anything can happen in the feature though. He's going to be starting in 12th place with Ray Oliver in P11 for the next one, because he finished P2 here. And he's done, I'll tell you what, I think, yeah, give him a round of applause. Ray Oliver, P2 for Down Under Sim Esports in the sprint race, on pace. Cracking effort. Stephen King just holds on to P3 after coming under pressure from John Bailiff into the hairpin. There was a bit of contact. They went side by side through the chicane, which we don't see that often. And then, yeah, it was a strange spin. Possible iRacing physics. You would argue that, I mean, from the point of view that we saw it, without looking at it in the steward's room just yet, you would argue that Stephen King was entitled to the room on the outside, and maybe John just went in a little bit hot, and it spun him round with the front end being sort of the way it contacted. He just went round and down the order, did John Bailiff. Andy Fox, though, won't be too disappointed because he gained a position from it. Morgan Burkhardt up there again, P4. Kieran Dempsey, P5. Strong race for him. Andy Fox, Austin Farr, Henry Morse, Andre Mayerek in P9. Give that man a round of applause as well. He's jumped in YouTube chat. He's never been this happy with a P9 before. Many of these drivers used to racing in the SimLab Production Car Challenge on iRacing every week. But it's got to be said that, I mean, it's just not the same. It's not the same. For one, there's no MX-5s in the way of these guys because they're genuinely, I mean, close to all of them in the Jetta tend to be faster than a majority of the bottom end of the MX-5s in SimLabs, which is impressive enough. And then on top of that, he's fighting everyone at once who are, I mean, loads of these Jetta drivers are in the top 15 or whatever in the SimLab Championship. So it's tight. And Andre, straight up there in P9. Good effort. Dan Blake up there in P10. Donnie Henriksen, P11 in the end, with Dan Downing getting your reverse grid pole with P12. That was because of John Bailiff's loss. Sam Van Olst, P13. He should be happy with that. John Bailiff, P14. Joshua Germany, P15 in the end with a potential penalty. We'll have to have a closer look at his contact with Alexander van der Velde around the outside of turn 1. It just looks like he lost it on the grass. Alex maybe not going to have given him room on the way back in, but would he have had to? We won't know until we watch that back. That is the important question. Jerry Agard, P16, some more valuable points for Masters of Talk. Carl Ridley, P17, so he's done well to survive. Jesus Amundere as well. Gregory Otley and Ika Lequay taking your final points of the sprint race. Your non-scorers for today were Jared Kaler, probably the biggest shock out of that lot down there. He's P2 in the championship, and there he is in 21st place on pace. So he did try fighting his way up. Dan Thornton, though, P22, nearly at the points. He's just waiting. He's in the right spot, is Dan Thornton. I'm sure he won't mind me saying. We'll compare him to Kimi Räikkönen. Dan Thornton's job right now is to just be in the right place at the right time. He's right on the cusp of those points every single time. And he just needs to stay there for when it happens. He's shown that he can be up there, though, has Dan. Depending on the track, he's one to watch for sure. And if it's anything like last time, big celebrations across the drivers in the paddock when Dan Thornton scores points, and they're well deserved. Duncan Murray, 23rd. He won't be happy with that. Neither will Chris Smith after losing it on the grass. Both of them doing a similar drift around turn 3, breaking on the grass, and around they went. Alexander van der Velde probably mainly losing out to the Joshua Germany contact, reversing into the wall and then coming back on. Martin Wallace. Could we put it down to just tiredness from having an exhilarating USGP weekend? We could do that. we shall do that for now. Ryan Smith, unfortunate there. I'm not sure if he was just trying to help everyone else by punting Chris out the way. but contact with the other ORD Smith. Jan Weisswanger down in P28 and Christian Ribeiro P29, both surviving and not causing any incidents, but 0 points for both of them for this round. It is the feature next. The dreaded feature, twice as long, 16 laps with a pit stop. 4 minutes to go until that starts. Why is it the dreaded feature? And it's because it's worth more points, and yet they take more risks, these lot. It's weird, but it happens. Paul Smith, sorry, I thought this was a dream, as there's never anything on YouTube for the Jetta TDI, and dreams don't have live chat. Well, Paul Smith, you have found the right place. We are here on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and VCO Esports YouTube. Check out their Twitter as well. They're always active. And they're posting a lot, actually. Speaking of VCO Esports, they've got a lot of series on at the moment, so genuinely check them out, because they will. They've got a lot of top drivers under their name, and their races are quite entertaining. A lot of big partnerships, and I'm humbled that they are on board with us this season for just our second season in the Volkswagen Jetta. Have you ever seen so many Jettas, Paul Smith? There are currently, I didn't even see what that went down to. Is it 29 on the grid? We have 30. We had 32 drivers at the start of the season. We've definitely got 31 left. I know of one that has pulled out, and the others we may see return. We know Huffman, who's not here today. He is, depending on his classes in America, sometimes makes it, sometimes not. But they've got they've got Burkhardt absolutely scoring points every round, and Martin Wallace sometimes there as well. And then we've got Sebastian Hall-Michael from Meatball Motorsport, who hasn't been to the last few rounds, but hopefully we'll see him make a return as well. Riley Andre says, is the race over? Yes, it is. Alexander van der Velde says, well, that sucks. Got the feature race to come, though. That's the spirit. Looking forward. Many times people have messed up in the sprints, and they get it back in the feature, although it's a difficult track to overtake. I'm just hoping we don't see any crashes just like that. We saw very little crashes in that one. Although a couple of people lost out the most, which was Alexander van der Velde with Joshua Germany, John Bailiff with Stephen King, which looked like, from our point of view initially, that no one was at fault. So that'll be a weird one to look into. Where else? What else have we got? We've got a lot of Henry fans in the chat. We've got a Henry Austin Jared fan. So we've got the Americans coming through, rooting for the American drivers, who, rumour has it, if there is a Season 3, can't announce that yet because we don't know if it's happening, but it might do. If there is a Season 3, I heard through the grapevine that there would be an American team on the grid next season, and I wonder if they would pilfer those top American drivers on the grid. I know they're good friends outside for sure. That's Farr, Kayla and Morse. Good friends outside of the Jetta Cup. The only other Americans on the grid... Oh, this is going to be embarrassing because I'm going to forget. We've got Jameson Huffman, we've got Morgan Burkhardt, and we've got Zero Foxgiven. Zero Foxgiven Racing, the team, have Jameson Huffman, Morgan Burkhardt and Martin Wallace driving for them. The other current American team, you could say, on the grid. What we got? Cadared's just joined. What's up, my nerds? On Twitch. Cado, long time no see. Howdy, howdy. Busy old life. See that, Alex? I'm in good with the mods. That means Riley's been banned before, if he knows that. Merica says Stealth Snip 3 rad. Only thing you're in good with is the Italian mob. Bringing out the inappropriate quips is Riley Andre 18. Let's get back to the Jetta Cup. There's 10 seconds left of the warm-up. I'm going to take a quick sip of my drink before I have to rattle through that grid. I am back. Have no fear. Here I am. Stuck in the middle with you. I hope they don't copyright that. They don't copyright lyrics, right? Just the songs. No worries. Here we go. Grid time. Official grid then for your feature race. Dan Downing starts on pole. Donnie Henriksen. P2. Dan Blake. Andre Mayerek. Third and fourth. Henry Mawson. Austin Farr the next row. Andy Fox. Kieran Dempsey the next row. Morgan Burkhardt. Stephen King. Ray Oliver and Jake Cranston. Rounding off your top 12. Sam Van Olst. John Bailiff. Joshua Germany. Jerry Agard. Carl Ridley. Jesus Mundere. Greg Otley and Nicola Quay. Round off your top 20. Which leaves Jared Kayla. Dan Thornton. Duncan Murray. Chris Smith. Alexander Van der Velde. Martin Wallace. Ryan Smith and Jan Weisswenger and Christian Ribeiro. Rounding off your full grid. Done that in no time, and that is with good reason, because they grid up as quick as they dare. They've got 1 minute to grid up in the feature, We're waiting for Austin Farr and Alexander van der Velde currently. Before the lights come on, there's Farr, just popped onto your screens. Dan Downing and Henriksen, your front row. Who's going to get the better start? Shall we have a look at the blimp cam this time? Why not? Here we go. This will show a great view of that top 4. Gridding is now happened. Peter Ridley says, go Duncan, go. The lights are on. 2, 3, 4, 5 lights.
Green flag, green flag.
And they're out. The green flag is away, and Dan Downing has lightning reactions, but not as good a start as Donny Alpha Henriksen, who didn't get as much wheel spin as Daniel Downing, and is going to take the lead into turn 1 quite easily as Dan Blake looks up the inside, and Andre Majorek trying to take advantage of that as well as Henry Morse is coming through back there. Coming to pile on that pressure. We need to get back to the ground cameras so we can see him. He's going to go around the outside of turn 3. Surely not. It's going to be a risky move around the outside of Andre Majorek. Can he get it done, though? It sounded like contact somewhere. Oh, there's a big crash somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Jan Weissman is involved. We've got some ORD cars involved. Sam Van Olst. Oh, dear, oh, dear. It's a big knock-on effect. Who else is involved in that? That's Cranston with a blown engine. Jake Cranston, your championship leader, has got a blown engine in the feature. He's going to be coming into the pits. He needs to try and keep out the way of everyone there. I wonder, we need to see a replay. We have to see a replay. This is big news, and how has it happened? Doesn't look like many other people were involved, but Jake Cranston, this isn't over for him. He can get back to the pits. He can get a fast repair done. They've all got one fast repair, and he can get back into the race. We've seen it before. He started last in the feature race last time out, and he won. So do not rule Jake Cranston out, although we do need to try and find where this happened. Is it just someone braking late? Can we slow it down? This is all of them coming down. So Jake Cranston here. You got Andy Fox, Stephen King together. Has he done it himself? This is going to be so interesting. We need a good view of this. This is not the one so far. He has done it himself. He's broken on the grass. Andy Fox has slid as well. Ray Oliver, look at all the drifts as they start tumbling down. Where has Jake Cranston gone? There he is. So Andy Fox still drifting. Ray Oliver's in the wall. The whole field coming in. Joshua Germany involved in an accident. Not his fault again. So Jake has already blown his engine. Ellen Brown's in chat with some tear faces. Jared Kaler has to try and brake. Ray Oliver's going to have to safely rejoin, even though all the cars are coming through. Has Joshua Germany survived that incident? I need to try and keep an eye on the timing orders. It doesn't look like there's loads of cars in the pits. Look at them all go off. Look, there was so many involved in that crash. I'm not even sure we're going to have time to break that all down. Sam Van Olst, Dan Thornton, Duncan Murray, Chris Smith. So many involved, but the biggest name involved in that was Jake Cranston. He broke on the grass, slid round. Is this what everyone's been waiting for? There are now a lot of points on offer if he cannot climb that car back up. We've seen a lot of people dive into the pits. This is your track map in the top right. Kakula's in chat. Cranston binned it himself on the outside of the grass. Why do cars crash like they can't steer? Kakula says a mega lol. Restart car fart. We can't restart it. There is a safety car option, but we haven't experimented with it in Season 2, so it will not happen this season. Maybe, again, if it happens, can't confirm, in Season 3 we may see safety cars for things like that. But who knows? Who knows? Jake Cranston, if anyone who doesn't need help, is one of those drivers, because we will see him definitely climb up that order. Let's have a look at who had to pit stop as a result of that. There would have been a few. Van Olst, Murray, Smith, Cranston, Oliver, and Weiswanger, who's still in the pits, who's only just leaving. So Weiswanger's race, you can say, is pretty much done. Who are the biggest winners in this? Jesus Amundere and Jerry Agard side by side into turn 1. Is Jerry going to go around his outside? Oh, contact! Jerry takes to the grass. He's going to keep the position, though. Could you say it was a lovely move? It was a move. I wonder if Jesus gave himself a meatball there. He would have had to have given Jerry the room, I think. As Downing and Blake side by side into the hairpin. That would be Blake trying to pass Downing, who started in front. Henry Morse is going to try and follow him through. We've seen them get fairly close into this chicane before. You don't really want to be going side by side into this, as Henry Morse is going to give it a go. Is he going to get it done? What a brilliant move from Henry Morse. Round the outside of the next corner. Dan Downing losing places left, right and centre. And now look, Austin Farr's going to try and come through. And he's got Morgan Burkhardt right behind him as well. Great racing through the chicane. Will they have to pit twice now? Ellen Brown, no, due to the new rules. It is only a one-stop race as long as he's put enough fuel in. Gutted for ORD, says Ryan Smith Racing. Yeah, that's a Ryan Smith fan, or Ryan Smith himself. Surely he shouldn't be in chat whilst he's driving. But yeah, not a good day for them so far. And then a load of Twitch chat that I can't keep up with. So, biggest winners in this so far. Up 3 places is Morgan Burkhard into P6. Up 3 places is John Bailiff up into P11. Gregory Otley's up 7 places into P12, so he's had an absolutely blinding start. Even we saw him on the tail phase of that big crash caused by Jake Cranston at the start. Joshua Germany's up 2 places. Jared Kaler's also up 7 places. This will be good for him, so he's in the points. He'll be watching where Jake Cranston comes out, because that is his nearest championship rival so far, down in P14. Stephen King hasn't had a nightmare. He's in P9 at the moment. I wonder if he is... I mean, he's not going to take many risks, I don't think, because, let's face it, there's a lot of points on offer. He's in P4 at the moment. P3 in the championship is Morgan Burkhard. They're gaining some points. Double points, remember, in the feature. Who else is the biggest gainer? Or the biggest 2 gainers? Alexander van der Velde, who's battling with Carl Ridley here into the hairpin. He's round the outside, but he's got the slipstream of the Lurchers car ahead of him. That's Ika Lequay. He's going to go to the inside as they head down towards the chicane. This is going to be risky. Can Ika hold it round the outside? It's going to be a late break if Alex does commit to it. He doesn't. Kyle Ridley, though, has to slot in behind, so he has at least gained that position on Kyle if they were that way round to begin with. Martin Wallace has gained 8 places on the start. He's in P18. He's back in the points. And Christian Ribeiro has also gained 8 places. He's up in 21st, trying to get that last point from his teammate, Jesus Amundere. And then Chris Smith is down there in P22. So he's trying to get back into the race. So the ORD boys could score some points. Dan Thornton right behind. And the third ORD, Ryan Smith, is down in P26. Just ahead of Jake Cranston. Martin Wallace has just passed Kyle Ridley there by the looks of it. Where is that? No way. Not into Druids. Let's have a replay, please. Oh, there's someone going off here. Is this just 1X's up ahead? There's a lot of them. What are we looking at here? It's Alexander van der Velde passing Kyle Ridley. We want to see Martin Wallace passing Kyle Ridley. Here it is. It is on the inside of... trying to work out where this is. It's the final corner. We've seen many passes there. We said it in the intro. It looked like Druids for a second, so that is my bad. He's got it done. Oh, that is... oh, dear, oh, dear. That is not what... Did you see that? I'm sure everyone saw that. Shall we have a look at what happened there? Daniel Downing. Big knock-on effect. Around he goes into the hairpin. This is a terrible place to try and rejoin. Morgan Burkhard had the smarts before to use reverse. Dan Downing not showing that sort of experience just yet, but it's his first season, so it can be forgiven. But he would have easily been able to, in that massive amount of time, reverse it round and rejoin parallel to the track. He'll watch that back and think, yeah, why didn't I do that? Probably from pure frustration of losing another top finish. As Henry Morse, I believe, look at the crabbing. Did you see the crabbing on Dan Downing's car? He's going to have to get that back to the pits pronto. And we've got more cars coming into the pits now. Morse, Dempsey, Fox and Bailiff all pitting. Carl Ridley comes in as well. And lap 5 has ticked over. We're on lap 6. So the pit window is now open for those that did not get involved in a crash in the first 5 laps. That's the only rule for pit stops this season. If you have to pit after lap 5. That's the only rule, unless, of course, you receive a meatball or are involved in a big crash in that main start, as we saw Jake Cranston had a big engine blow. This will show, though, where people are going to come out. There's Dan Downing. So he's made it to the pits safely. Carl Ridley we're focused on right now. Dan Downing behind did make it back with his crabbing car. Jesus Amundere comes out. Where is Jake Cranston? He's round the outside of Ryan Smith into turn 1. Ryan's going to hold it. He's like, have that, Jake. Can't get past me. Youngest driver on the grid. Had to be said. Say it every round. Showing his experience now. He's making it to the end of sprint races. He had a fuel issue in the first few rounds. He's fixed it. He just needs to now stay out of trouble. He was very consistent in Season 1. Jake's going to swap back and try and dummy him to the inside of the hairpin. This is for 25th place. 25th place. You know who's still leading, though? In terms of constructors' fights, That's Donny Alpha Henriksen still in the lead of this race. Half a second clear of Dan Blake for win it or bin it. Another 100 messages reached across all 3 platforms, by the way, guys. So well done. As Stephen King comes into the pits. Greg Otley follows. They were around P6, 7. Or King was. Joshua Germany has done well to survive. I'm sure I saw him involved in that crash. He might be on for some decent feature points. He needs it. It will boost his morale. Stephen King is exiting the pits now. Morse has gone through with a stop. Dempsey's gone through with a stop. Otley's behind him. John Bailiff is coming through. Where is Bailiff? There he is on the exit of turn 1. So King slots in to P3 at the moment, out of the drivers that have stopped. Impressive stuff as we see Martin Wallace come in. Ribeiro had a 6-second quicker pit stop than Martin Wallace. I wonder how he did that. Murray's gone through, past Wallace after the pits. Cranston's still in 25th, although ahead of Ryan Smith now. Down there at the bottom end. King is currently in 15th, but 3rd out of the pit stoppers. Dan Thornton and Chris Smith, without pit stopping, are currently, look at the damage on the front of Chris's car. You can tell he hasn't stopped. Currently in 11th and 12th. Jerry Agard, quiet little racer. Black number on the back and front. He'll fix that next round, hopefully. It's been 6 rounds now. The Swiss driver, the only Swiss driver on the grid, and holds his own and earns just enough points to keep their team going. Definitely well worth it. It's Donny Henriksen, your race leader, and Morgan Burkhardt come into the pits. This will be interesting. This will be a real show of where to come out. So you got Morse, Dempsey and King in 13th, 14th and 15th who have pitted. You've now got Henriksen and Burkhardt in the pits. Stereo Agard's come in as well. Kayla's in. Where is Morse? He's coming down the main straight. Is he going to take the lead? Surely not. Can just about see him on the track map. I saw Burkhardt. There is Henriksen. So Henry Morse is looking like he's in P2. King was there back in the background. He's actually going to come under pressure from Bailiff once again. Round 2, boys, at the same track. Burkhardt's going to chase down Dempsey. Morse is going to chase down Henriksen. And Bailiff is chasing down King. While Fox and Otley try and hold on to another. Well, Fox, another strong position. Not quite a sprint race win, but probably worth more points in the feature if he can stay there. Greg Otley potentially on for his highest finish yet. Dan Thornton now up into P7. Alexander van der Velde currently showing 20 places up from where he started as he hasn't pit yet. Having a good old race, chasing down Joshua Germany, who's 5 seconds up the road. Mayerek's looking fairly close to Austin Farr. These two have been together for a while. I wonder if they're going to come in the pits this lap. It is lap 8 of 16. This is when the sprint race finished, so we should see our final stoppers coming in soon. Dan Blake's going for another lap. He's done this before. I am fairly certain that every time I set like an estimated limit, which is normally the sprint race laps, Dan Blake just pushes it an extra lap. He has taken the crown of fuel-saving master, shall we say. But this is going to be the real intrigue then. Donny Alpha Henriksen for Masters of Torque coming down the main straight. And your first of these pit stoppers is Austin Farr, who is now leaving the pits. The American driver for the Down Under Sim Esports team. Donny Henriksen goes round the outside. Where is Austin Farr going to slot in? Henry Morse is going to come round the outside. Is he going to have the run down into turn 3? It doesn't look like he's quite done it. Oh, they get extremely close into the entry. Kieran Dempsey still under pressure. Andre Mayerek has come out. Where is that? That's Stephen King going up his inside. John Bailiff's going to follow through. Stephen King cuts across to defend the inside of the hairpin. That looked really close on pit lane exit. Dan Blake going another lap. Jan Weiswanger a lap down, I believe. Sam Van Olst has stopped a second time. I wonder if he sped in the pits. That's not good for Sam. That'll be his race done if he has stopped a second time. But Andre Mayerek playing it safe for some more decent points as John Bailiff and Stephen King go through. These guys need to work together to try and catch the train ahead, as there's only 2 people that haven't pit. It's the 2 Dans. You got Dan Blake, number 127 for Win It or Bin It Racing, and Dan Thornton, number 74 for ORD Racing. Both British drivers, both driving the Jetta, as they all right now. Oulton Park Island, round 6. They haven't stopped yet on lap 9. They have to pit this lap, otherwise they're going to run out of fuel, I'm certain. Yep, in comes Dan Blake. Dan Thornton's going to come in as well. We'll have to keep an eye on when they come out. Dan Downing is stopping for a second time as well. That's his race done. I wonder if he's quit. Is he going to DNF? Potentially. Yep, he's out. He's had enough. That's the Dan Downing we used to know from the F1 games. He used to do that regularly in F1 2019 and 20 practices. But, I mean, it's understandable, isn't it? It was a lot of points today. We'll have to look back at it later to see what happened. I'll tell you what, Dan Blake has done extremely well. He's come out side by side with Donny Alpha Henriksen for the lead of the race. He's going to have to slot him behind. Wow. Dan Thornton still in the pits at the moment. Stephen King still holding on from John Bailiff. Win it or bin it. You're getting a massive haul of points today at the moment. Let's get rid of those pit stops. We don't need to see them anymore. In terms of pit stop strategies, this is what it looks like. Anyone who's got a full yellow line has just pitted on lap 9. So that's Dan Blake and Dan Thornton. Henriksen pitted on lap 7, as did Burkhardt, who are going side by side with Dempsey into the chicane. You can see it there on your screens. Who's going to come out on top in that? It is Burkhardt. Big lock up in the background there from one of the Pulsar cars. Let's go back to the race. Where's that track map? That's what we want to see. So, again, fairly good. No big crashes involving multiple... Well, the lap 1 crash in the feature, but it was good to see that it wasn't from contact and it was from a mistake. Don't quite know why Sam pitted a second time. It would normally be for either a speeding penalty in the pit lane, maybe not enough fuel, so he would have had to stop again anyway. We'll have to speak to Mr. Van Olst about that later. As we approach lap 11, we are on lap 11 of 16, so only 5 laps to go now here on the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, powered by GT Omega Racing, partnered with the amazing VCO Esports. We've got Kakala with us today. Mike fell off my desk and disconnected my wheel. Soz for hitting Henry. Oh, there you go. So maybe Delta won't be upset with that. As I can see, a big battle for the lead into the hairpin. It's Donny Henriksen and Dan Blake. And then you got Farr, Burkhardt and Morse. It's all kicking off here in the lead fight. Look at this. Dan Blake is about to take the lead with an absolutely blinding move. I kind of want to see a replay of that. And I hope you'll all agree. As you can see some cars in the background there. It's getting extreme. The more battling that we see up here, the closer everyone else gets. This is going to be extremely tight at the end. Just like we saw before. I'm just scrolling through my events because I want to try and see that pass again. It looks like it was here. The race is going to continue. So you've got Dan Blake on the inside of turn 3 as they head towards the hairpin. Donny Henriksen on the inside of the hairpin. They both brake. Dan Blake's going to try and go around the outside. He does brake late enough as Farr gives Henriksen a little bit of a tap on the exit and then has to move across on Burkhardt as Henry Morse gets a good run. They now head towards the chicane. Side by side. This is when we jumped on board with it. And then Dan Blake takes the lead. He gets enough of a run. Takes the lead into the chicane nice and safely. Are we going to see a new race winner here at Oulton Park? It could definitely be done, but he's not going to lose any pressure as Joshua Germany's gone off track somewhere, but I don't think it was too big. It might just be the usual 1X. And then that is pretty much where we left off with the battle. Let's see what it looks like now. Pretty similar. Not much has changed, but the pressure definitely still on for all of these boys. Dan Blake. Austin Farr's going to try and go around the outside of Henriksen now into the hairpin. Doesn't look close enough. Dan and Henriksen were closer than that, as now Henry Morse and Morgan Burkhardt are going side by side up the straight. Morgan Burkhardt on the inside of the chicane. Morse blinking in and out. Has he disconnected? Oh no, or is he just going to appear back into the midfield? He might have disconnected. That's not what he's going to want. And this is the equivalent of an online racing engine failure. The car has failed him. It looks like Henry Morse might be out of this race fully as he tumbles down the order. And he was on for a really strong result, potentially a podium for the Pulsus Esports team. It would have been what he wanted as Jake Cranston jumps to the pits. I wonder if he's had another crash. But Jake Cranston looking like then it's a no-point round for your championship leader. Dan Blake currently leading the way with Donnie Henriksen P2, Austin Farr in P3. And Morgan Burkhard, the closest rival to Jake Cranston that is the highest up the order, currently on for P4. Trying to chase down that order. Bailiff's lost, was behind Stephen King, but has now got Kieran Dempsey in between them. And Andre Majorek still sitting pretty there for another strong result of P8. That'll be a lot of points in the feature. We got P9 in the race before. I imagine we're going to see Henry's fans start to disappear now, just like his connection did. The one person that was scared of their connection today was actually Duncan Murray, who's battling Martin Wallace. Into turn 3 they go. Swapping positions left, right and centre, down the hill, through turn 3, down towards the hairpin, and Duncan Murray comes out on top for P20. The final 2 points of the grid, we should say. Into the hairpin they go, lap 13. I'll tell you what, we need to do this. It's time to vote your driver of the day. Hashtag vote in chat. Be fair. Don't vote for the same driver more than once. Don't just vote for your favourite driver. For example, Henry Morse, because he's no longer in the race. He cannot get driver of the day. Sorry. Momentary lapse of concentration. Lap 13 of 16. We've got 3 laps to go. All you have to do, hashtag vote in chat, followed by the name of the driver you want to vote for your driver of the day. In terms of most positions gained, it looks like it's Greg Otley and Christian Ribeiro. Greg Otley's up 10 places for a P9 finish right now, as is Christian Ribeiro for a P19. But he's got Duncan Murray piling on the pressure as there's a big crash up ahead, and that is Andy Fox in the wall with engine damage. And Jared Kaler looks like he might have been involved as Duncan Murray makes contact with Christian Ribeiro, nearly loses it, holds it together. We'll have to have a look at what happened here. Andy Fox and Joshua Germany battling it out. We've seen these two come together before on track. Is Joshua Germany going to get involved? Oh no, look at that for a violent crash. Kyle Ridley squirming all over the place to avoid that. Oh, Andy will be annoyed with that. It looks similar. Oh dear. Look at that's the picture. Kakula says mayhem as he's just landed on his roof. There's a race going on, but I can't take my eyes off this. I want to see that again. Right, so they're battling side by side through here. Jared Kaler looks like he stuck his nose in a gap that potentially wasn't there. Or was it there and was it closed slightly too late? I mean, he would have had to... I don't know. It's there, it's there, it's there. It starts closing. Oh, a netcode has started this. It was a bit of netcode that started it. And he goes into the wall, bounces out. Have that, Jared. Round he goes into the wall. And then Carl Ridley squirms his way through. I would like to see an onboard of Carl Ridley. There he is. Look at that. Squirmy, squirmy, squirmy. And then Jared Kaler. Round he goes. Let's go back live with the action. Where are we at? Lap 15 of 16. And this is what it looks like. Christian Ribeiro, Martin Wallace battling it out down here for P18 and 19. Points on board for everyone. Duncan Murray, P17. Andy Fox and Kaler, more casualties in this race. Henry Morse, a disconnect. Up the front. Dan Blake looking ever so comfortable though. With Donnie Henriksen and Austin Farr right behind. Morgan Burkhard is in P4 with King piling on the pressure. I think King will want higher position than P5. But at the same time, I don't think he'll take many risks because he knows he needs every point he can get. Kieran Dempsey right behind, John Bailiff, Andre Majorek and Greg Otley. Not even rounding off your top 10. I'll tell you who's in 10th place. It's currently Joshua Germany. With Carl Ridley for company in the Down Under Sim Esports car. Speaking of drivers of the day, I know I said to vote your driver of the day, but guess who's up 13 places? Now the most positions of everyone. It's Alexander van der Velde, who started pretty much dead last. in the feature race with 1 lap to go after this one. He's up into P12. He'll be happy with that comeback for sure. Let's just get that up again. Don't forget, hashtag vote, followed by Jerry Agard. Oh, Jerry Agard, look. Absolutely trying to send it around the outside of Equal. Hashtag vote in chat. Hashtag vote, followed by the driver that you want to vote for your driver of the day. I'll count the votes at the end of the race after going through the results. Alexander van der Velde, I'll tell you what, Equal and Jerry Agard are having a hell of a battle here for P13 and 14 as Ika holds it around the outside of turn 1. Keeps the position. Jerry Agard really weaving left and right. He's on the inside for turn 3. He's not going to hold it there, though. He backs out as Bailiff passes Dempsey into the hairpin around the outside. Can he hold it there? It doesn't look like it. Wow, it's really backed up here at the front. We're on the final lap. It's the white flag lap, and we're going 2x2, heading towards the chicane. Dan Blake, your leader. Henriksen second. Far in third. Burkhardt and King. And Bailiff passes Dempsey on the final lap. There's a bit of a nudge there from behind. Bailiff gets involved as well. Stephen King keeps it slotted in. Bit of contact. No penalties needed. Bit of rubbing is racing there. Everyone survived and came out in the same order. Very close between all of these drivers in the top. This is 16 laps of racing around Oulton Park Island. Many corners. A big pace difference in practice at the start. And now look at it as Wallace passes Murray down in P18 for some more points. Murray, oh, hang on. Maybe Murray's just blinking in and out because he's jumping up and down that order. Surely he's not passing all those people. But look at this top train after 16 laps of racing. But your race winner, a 10th race winner in the Volkswagen Jetta Cup, 2 seasons in, on round 6. Dan Blake comes around the final corner, moves across to the inside and takes another win for Win It or Bin It in your Oulton Park feature race. Henriksen in P2 with Austin Farr P3 and Morgan Burkhardt and Stephen King round off your top 5 with Bailiff Dempsey, Majorek, Otley and Germany breaking the duck. I know I don't have to keep saying that, but I've said it again. Joshua Germany, after 3 terrible feature results, 23rd, 23rd and 24th, his last 3 features, comes back with a top 10. Carl Ridley nearly got him, only 1/10 behind. Alexander van der Velde definitely would get my vote for driver of the day, and possibly Christian Ribeiro, who finished in P17. Dan Blake cruising round after an epic race with Donny Henriksen. Wow. Hashtag Ryan Smith, says Theon Smith. Cador. Oh, that's just Riley voting Austin. Quick shout out to everyone that's currently watching with us on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and of course our partners over at VCO Esports YouTube. You need to go and check them out. If you haven't subscribed to VCO Esports already, or of course us, then do. I saw someone in chat mention, doth their eyes deceive them? A Jetta Championship? Yes. The one and only home of potentially the best Jetta Championship yet. I say the one and only. One of 2 homes now, as VCO Esports are on board. But of course, in unison. Now, the results of the race. Let's have a look. Oh, excuse me. It's not COVID, don't worry. We're not on the COVID vibes yet. Dan Blake comes into the pits after winning an epic feature, 2/10 ahead of Donny Henriksen. Mad John 88 says, get in, Dan. Happy for the Win It or Bin It team taking another win. It is a great job for the number 127 car. Another new winner. It's great for everyone to see when a new winner comes on board and new podium sitters. Donny Henriksen, another strong performance. He nearly got it. Nearly got the win. 2/10, but he's going to get that P2 for sure. Austin Farr, P3. So what have we got here? A Brit, Denmark, USA, another USA, Morgan Burkhardt in P4. 34 points on his championship rival. I mean, the positive for Mr. Cranston, down in 28th for 0 points, is that he had a hell of a lead coming into this round, so he can afford 1 or 2 rounds like this. Alexander van der Velde in chat. Well, that was a cacophony of disasters for me tonight, he says, after gaining the most positions. Main screen died with 50 seconds to go to gridding. Panic over. You've done a good race, Alexander. Stephen King, John Bailiff found themselves together on track again. John Bailiff may be disappointed with today's round, as this was a strong Strong round for him. He's very quick round Oulton Park, but that just gives testament to the rest of the drivers. He's still done well to finish P6, not far behind Mr. King, who they made contact with together in the sprint race. Kieran Dempsey, Andre Majorek, if he was buzzing with a P9 finish in the sprint, surely Andre Majorek, you are happy with a P8 in the feature, and Greg Otley up there with a top 10 finish, and Joshua Germany too. Carl Ridley, Alexander Van der Velde, Ika Lequay, Jerry Agard and Chris Smith getting his way back into the points in P15. Jesus Amundere, Christian Ribeiro, in fact all three Lurchers cars in the points again. That's Ika, Jesus and Christian. Martin Wallace gets some more points for Zero Faults Given Racing. Needs them with Morgan. Ryan Smith gets back to the points in 19th place with Ray Oliver rounding off the field in P20, making it 3 down under Sim Esports cars in the points. Who else was I looking for here? Kieran Dempsey is currently flying the flag for Meatball Motorsport. He got 28 points. And then if we add up Ika, Jesus and Christian, 18 for the bottom two, 16. So, yeah, so it looks like Lurchus have outscored Meatball again. But at the moment, only one of Meatball's drivers regularly scoring. It's going to be a tough ask, but it still could swap back round. With Kieran Dempsey getting some strong results. It'll be interesting to see what happened. I think it's interview time, don't you? Andre Majorek says very happy with P8. Finally a race with no major disasters for me. Yes, indeed. No major disasters. Let's go back to the start. So we've got something to watch whilst we interview the drivers. Where are we at? Here we are. We'll go in slow motion. Oh, look at that for a view. That's everyone climbing down the hill. Oh, what a time to catch it. Let's just break this down again, shall we? Jake Cranston loses it on the grass. A weird place to blow his engine. Andy Fox has gone round. Ray Oliver's gone round. Unless he blows his engine from a secondary contact. It doesn't look like it's been done yet. Unless he just rapidly downshifts. Joshua Germany into the back of Sam Van Nolst. That's where Jake's engine blows, so he must have rapidly downshifted. Cool. Anyone making it through this? Jared Kaler as well. Greg Otley, look at that. Greg Otley in the absolute right place. Jerry Agard does very well to avoid. There's more cars going off around the outside. Look at the smoke. Ryan Smith going left. Alexander Van der Velde surviving. Sam Van Olst coming on in front of Thornton. They've come together a few times. Let's go have a look at those interviews. So, who is in that waiting room? Let's find out. Oh, we've got a few lined up. We have got a few lined up. Oh, I'll tell you what I haven't done. I didn't count. Driver of the day. Silly me. Let's do that now quickly. Where are we? Hashtag Sam Van Olst 1, Alex 1, Dan Blake 1. Biggie Morello, that's Dan Blake 2, Ryan Smith 1, Austin Farr 1. I think that's it. That means driver of the day. I mean, technically, Biggie Morello didn't put a hashtag, but regularly follows Dan Blake's stream, so I'm going to take that as a vote for him. Dan Blake, I think, can be called your driver of the day, and he won the race, so it's too late. Stealth snip voting for Austin Farr last second, although Austin, of course, did do very well. We may get to speak to both of them. Let's have a look. Let's jump in the Discord. I'm going to pull them in now. Our first driver, who we are going to speak to, is going to be the newest race winner here in the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. We're in Season 2. It's now 10 winners in total. Dan Blake, the newest in the list, after Andy Fox in the same team done it last week. How are you feeling, Dan?
I'm feeling ecstatic, Jack. Thank you very much. This is a first season in the Jetta Cup. It's taking me a little bit to get used to, but a circuit I've raced at real life as well probably helped a little bit. And yeah, I sort of used all my experience to the full there and just managed. I pretty much, I don't know if you saw the full move. I set it up from pretty much old Hall. I went to the outside. Donny defended the inside. And I went side by side them all the way from Old Hall down to the hairpin on the outside. And I was just able then to drag up the hill and just sort of get that inside line going in towards Knickerbrook, and that was crucial. But yeah, it was a really good race, and they really made me work hard for it at the end there, but I managed to hold on. And thanks as well to obviously John Bailiff, Andy Fox, the Winner Bin It guys. They've been fantastic this season. Also at yourselves for putting it on, and everyone who's sort of been watching and supporting me as well. So thank you very much. But as you say, yeah, it was a very good race, that one.
Yeah, no, it was great to watch. We actually went back and watched it because we saw we joined the battle on the exit of the hairpin, I believe, heading down towards the chicane, and then it just looked like, well, you had the position done before you entered the chicane, and we wanted to go back and have a look. So we saw most of it. It looked like you had, like you said, the inside of Druids. I mean, it was a long battle, and it was a hell of a move. Johnny Henriksen, obviously no slouch behind the wheel, as with many of the drivers. But it is great to see yet another new race winner, and your first season technically, because some of these guys have obviously now they're in their second season. They're kind of used to this level of this strength of field of Jetta drivers, which is actually stronger this season. And here you are taking your first win, and one of perhaps more to come.
Oh, I hope so. That would be very good. I got quite a busy week this week, so obviously I got the final rounds of my real life racing in the MX5 Clubman, supporting the Formula Ford Festival at Brands Hatch this weekend. So a really good start to the week. But as you say, the level of competition in this is so high, and it's taken a while for me to settle in and sort of get used to it all. But I think I'm just starting to find my feet now, and hopefully I can get near to the front again on a more often basis, because some really great racing, and I'm actually quite surprised I've won that, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to be at the front so quickly.
No worries. Well, good luck with your real racing this weekend, of course, or the next weekend coming. Is there anyone, I know you've done a load of thank yous already, but is there anyone you want to say a final goodbye to or thank you to before I let you go?
Yeah, just the Winner Bin It guys, to say yourselves for putting it on, and the people who've been watching and supporting, and also as I say, you guys for putting it on. It's a fantastic league, and I'd like to think that we're putting on some good entertainment, and hopefully iRacing get that a damage model sorted soon as well, if we can put a bit more pressure on them.
That's right. We'll put the pressure on, and hopefully we can get it sorted. And of course, before I forget, you got 2 votes, I believe, which just about there was a few people that got 1 vote. You are the driver of the day as well. With Biggie Morello jumping in chat and pushing you over that vote limit. So there you go. Driver of the day and a win to your name.
Oh, excellent. That's a perfect day. Thank you very much, Biggie, for that. And thank you for the other votes. And yeah, it's been a good night's racing. So thank you very much.
No worries. Thank you, Dan. See you soon.
See you, Jack.
Dan Blake, new race winner for the Jetta Cup. There's only 2 people in the interview room. This is surprising. I mean, we've spoken to him before. We'll bring him in again. It's another podium sitter, Austin Farr, the American driver for Down Under Sim Esports, P3 in the feature. Tell us about your race, sir.
Kind of eventful and then uneventful, luckily. There was an incident there in the hairpin, and I was very lucky to get out of that relatively unscathed. And then come pit stops, I kind of gambled on fuel. I took a little less to try to come out in front of everybody else that got caught up in that incident. And then it paid out for me there. And then right at the line, I ran out of fuel. So pretty lucky there for me.
Well, you say luck. You find yourself regularly up there. So you've got to take a bit of credit for it, I'm sure. With yourself, I mean, you've got to be climbing the order in the championship. We'll look at the points obviously next time round and after this race is done. But you've got to feel fairly confident. We're at the halfway phase. We're past the halfway point now. We've got 4 rounds to go. We've got an American leg coming up. Some home ground. You've got to feel confident about climbing up the order and potentially finishing in the top 3 in the championship.
I wouldn't say top 3. I was shooting for top 15 coming in. A top 10 would be awesome. But, I mean, I'm pretty satisfied with how I've been finishing recently. As long as I stay out of crashes, I usually do well. So I'm gonna obviously I'm gonna keep trying to do that.
I'm not gonna lie, Austin, but that sounds like the key to me. Stay out of a crash, and you'll do well. Yeah. Sometimes obviously impossible, but next time round, Donington Park, the final round of our quadruple header. and then a break week in the American leg. Donington Park, have you raced there before? How are you feeling going into the next round?
Absolutely not. I have not touched that track ever. And I'm pretty sure next Monday is the first time I'm going to be on it. But I've been able to pick up the car and the track combos pretty fast, so I'm not too nervous about it.
Oh, that's all right. Well, before I let you go, obviously congratulations on the podium again. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you go?
Sure. Down Under Esports, it's awesome driving for them. Everybody in the Discord, and the thousands of fans in chat.
The thousands of fans. Not yet, but hopefully we'll keep growing. Thank you, Austin. We'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you.
Good lad, Austin Farr. Got one, maybe two more interviews. I think we do need to have a quick chat with, of course, Mr. Donny Alpha Henriksen from Masters of Talk. He finished P2 in the end in the feature race, but another strong result. It was looking like a win, and after the hefty race with Dan Blake, he comes out close behind, but another strong result, and probably, he's going to help keep that lead from Pulsar Esports in the constructors for sure, and done your own championship, the world of good, Donny, with 42 points. How are you feeling?
Well, I'm feeling like I'm always number 2,
which
is better than being number 3, right?
That's true.
I'm always second quickest.
I don't know if that's true. You had the lead, and it was looking. I mean, I know what you're saying. It's hard, isn't it? But at the same time, you're finding yourself up there again, which is all you did. That's all you had to do last season, was just consistently get up there, and you ended up in the top 5 in the championship. And it's starting to go that way again now. It was a slow start for quite a lot of drivers, actually, getting back into it. But now you keep finding yourself back up there. Where are you aiming for by the end with 4 rounds to go?
Well, I can't remember the standings at the moment, but I think a top 5 again, that would be the ambition. I think the most important part is getting Masters of Talk the championship.
Yeah, that'll be...
So, that's why I'm going for the points.
Knocking Pulsars off of that top spot. Obviously won last season, but you had a 100-point lead, over a 100-point lead coming into this as a team, and you are currently... before this points round has been applied, you're currently in P6 in the championship, about 20-something points, maybe just under. I can't work that out in my head right now, but yeah, just behind 5th, which is Alexander van der Velde, who you beat today. He didn't have the best of rounds, and then onwards to Stephen King, Morgan Burkhardt, Jared Kaler, and Jake Cranston, and your next group. So definitely strong performances, but yeah, top 5, I'd say, is a safe target for you, Donny.
I wouldn't say safe. I mean, anything can happen, right? No drop rounds, so
that is
if
true.
you mess up in even one round, you just things can go bad.
It'll be interesting to see the points now after Jake didn't get any in a feature, but at the same time, I think he had a comfortable enough lead to still be leading after this, and he did well in the sprint, obviously, as well. But Masters of Talk, the team are doing very well. You've got a strong lineup this season. And doing great. Obviously, congratulations on your podium again. Is there anyone you want to say hello or thank you to before I let you
go? Not really. Just thanks for making the Jetta Cup so awesome. This is some of the best driving you'll find anywhere in iRacing. Even though the cars are slow, it's great competition, and the strength of field is just crazy this year.
The humble Donny there, who owns, you haven't told anyone, you own a Jetta now. Not because of us, though, right? It was just a coincidence, or it was because you enjoy driving it on iRacing?
Well, I went out and tried one because I drive it on iRacing, and I found out it's basically an Audi A4. It drives really well, so I bought him. And then I found out the car I bought was apparently one of the high-spec lines called the Sport line, so I got it for like half price, and the engine is apparently tuned to 170 horsepower or something, so it's actually quicker than the 2.0 TDI in iRacing.
Well, there you go.
That's pretty funny.
What a bonus. We'll have to take it on a track day at some point. We'll go around a local circuit or find somewhere. Maybe the Nürburgring. Who knows?
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah. Thank you for speaking with us, Donny. I'll speak to you again soon. Well done.
Yeah, cheers.
He's been waiting patiently. I normally do 3 interviews, but I think it's only worth bringing him in. It's Mr. Bailiff, John Bailiff, who was P8 into the championship coming into this round. He finished P6 that round. A little bit further down the order in the sprint after trying a should we say, brave move into the chicane. It's always risky going side by side through there. It definitely could have paid off. In this case, it didn't. But still a strong round nevertheless. Better than last week. Isn't that right, John?
Exactly. But had to give it a go. I think Stevie left the door open, and then I got the run alongside, and it just seemed from looking at the replay, just one of those weird sort of iracing spins that you'd expect, like just a bit of door banging, but it just spat me off. So
yeah, we said something similar on stream. It didn't look like any of you had done anything from the angle that we saw it at. It didn't look anything out of the ordinary, apart from the violent spin, which we've seen a couple of times from the Jetta and iRacing. But it was, like you said, I think you've got to give it a go sometimes. I mean, I guess if it was me in that moment, probably thinking Stephen's got more to lose. He's higher up in the championship. Maybe he wouldn't have taken the risk and holding around the outside. But then it was tough for both of you. You found yourself together on track quite a lot today. So clearly, even on pace, I mean, you would argue that you were slightly quicker, but it's a difficult track to pass.
yes, I mean, a really fun track to drive on, but the racing is quite difficult. You've got to set a move up quite a long way in advance, and there's only 1 or 2 places where you can actually do it. But I think some positives tonight. I had decent pace. I just didn't put it together in qualifying. And then race 2, I got caught out with Jake's mistake on the grass.
I think we all got caught out by Jake's mistake on the grass. I don't think any of us expected that. I was scrolling through the replay to try and find out who hit him, and then was shocked to find that he'd done it himself. I mean, I'm sure he'll be a good sport about it. With did I just call him a bandit then? Didn't mean that. About it with it being his own mistake, but yeah, a strong round for you. Donington next week. Obviously, a bunch of us from season 1 met up there for British Touring Cars. Are we looking forward to Donington as a round?
I love Donington, so hopefully it can be a good round and much better for overtaking.
Much better for overtaking. It's wider. It's another one of those tracks that I think might breed some mistakes from people by themselves. I'll be honest, I forgot that turn 3 round here would catch people out. I've seen it before. I didn't mention it in the briefings. I just forgot that people do that. Oran Park, we were obviously well aware that turn 2 catches people out, and we saw that happen to about 7 different drivers. But there's a good 2 corners, maybe even 3 at Donington, that will catch people out by themselves without any help. So,
and also you can scare people into the final chicane as well. So
we don't need to talk about that, John. No. But yes, you are right. We can scare people into the final chicane. Strong result. Anyone you want to say goodbye or thank you to before I let you go? And of course, congratulations again.
thanks for putting this on as ever. Brilliant series, and then thank you to those people who are watching me and supporting me.
Perfect. Short and sweet. Thank you, John.
Cheers, Jack.
Put him back in the driver's room. Do you know what? Pleasantly surprised again with the... Oh, we don't want that. Pleasantly surprised again with the standards, actually. There wasn't many poor choices that we saw anyway. I'm sure I'll find out in the steward's room. Big shocks. Good results all round. Another new race winner. Cool. Got it all. Thank you all for joining us again on the Racing Line YouTube and Twitch, and of course VCO Esports YouTube. Thank you VCO Esports for being here. Thank you GT Amiga Racing for sponsoring, I guess, and supplying the prize for whoever comes out on top this season. It's been a pleasure as usual. Peter Ridley says great racing. See you everyone. Cherry's voting for Donny. It's a little bit late. He's also called John the #1 bandit in a friendly way, of course. Thank you for joining in chat, everyone that commented, both YouTube and Twitch. It means a lot, and it obviously keeps the stream going, and I do my best to reply to everyone as long as it's on topic, of course. Riley, looking at you. Yeah, that's pretty much it as usual. Should we do the normal outro? You guys should remember this by now. It's pretty much the same script every time. I don't have it written down, but I sign off every video like it. There's track guides and whatever. Get it. There we go. Jerry's already said peace in advance. Remember the full phrase, Jerry. Come on, here we go. Well, Thank you for tuning into the Volkswagen Jetta Cup. That's pretty much it from me. If I don't see you on track this week, then I'll see you next week for the next video here on the Racing Line. Peace!